the anti-American terroristic party called the Republican Party, who in fact is the actual communist-like party with their behaviors and their policies. Number one thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about truth and facts, right? Or facts and truth, right? In order. Facts, number one enemy for MAGA. Truth, number two enemy. And then the second thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to make fun of MAGA, the complete and utter dingbats that they are. Well, good time of day, whatever time of day it is for you, to all of my beautiful people from around the world. Go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe on your way in if you haven't done so already. And if you don't mind, go ahead and tell me in the comments where you are from, where you're viewing from. I would love to see. This is that one Miss Lil Bit. How about that? Coming in from that one Missouri, deep MAGA country here. Unfortunately, we are not a MAGA station. We are anti-MAGA. So hopefully you are not a Miss Lil Bit. But if you are, it's still fine. You're allowed to be here. We encourage everyone to be here. Why? Because what we talk about here is facts and truth, which happen to be MAGA's number one and number two enemy, right? Facts are number one enemy for MAGA, and truth is number two enemy. Guys, real quick, do me a favor. You don't have to do anything in terms of spending any more extra money. Just do your normal shopping using the link below in the description on Amazon. Use your money for things that you need while at the same exact time supporting the channel. And if anybody's ever wondering what is number three, accountability. These are three things that MAGA, with a passion, hates all three of these things, and they do everything possible to completely and utterly avoid them at all costs. If you don't believe me, just talk to a MAGA, talk to them about facts, literal things that you can prove without a shadow of a doubt, and they want literally nothing to do with them. So it is a funny thing. Oh, I wasn't saying I'm MAGA. No, well, that's good though, Miss Little Bit. I don't want you to be, but if you are, it's fine. How's the Socialist Party switch going, Comrade? Well, May, I know that you're a Russia-loving person. That's what you MAGA people do. You know, like you guys are all about Russia now. You know what I mean? You guys love you some Vladimir Putin. And your indication there, calling me Comrade, like, you know, like that's something that we do in this country. We don't do that here in the free world. We don't call people Comrade. That's a Russian thing to do, a Russian loving thing to do, which is what you guys love, right? Like you guys love communism too, which is what you guys. The funny part about this socialist party thing, which is a completely different topic. You guys think that socialism is communism. You got to love the stupidity of these people. The fact that you guys are that so DUMB that you think that socialist is communist. It's hysterical to me. But hey, you know what I say? How's the Socialist Party switch going? I think it's going pretty well. Most people do want socialism in this country. In fact, it's something that we absolutely do need, and I am someone that's going to continue to promote the fact that we need more socialism. But I know that you don't know what's going on at all right? When it comes to that, right, May? Do you know that that our country is already very much socialist in so many different ways? There's a lot of things that we are in this country that are socialist, but you, of course, do not know anything about that. But I'll ask you a question, May. If your house caught on fire, how much would you pay the fire department if they came? Would you use a check? Would you use a credit? How would you do it? Oh no, that's right. You don't have to pay for that, do you? Well, God damn it, that's crazy. How about this, May? Do you pay at all the mailman to come in and drop off your mail? How does that work out? What is that called? Is it the Elon Musk Postal Service, or is it the United States Post Office? Which one is it? Isn't that weird? You know what I mean? Hey, another question for you too, May, while we're talking about Socialist Party. When you're driving to work and you hit a pothole, and then the next day you drive over that pothole and it's fixed, who fixed it? Was it Walmart that did it, or who was it? Like who fixed the pothole? Yeah, you see, like there's a lot of ways that you guys have no idea what's going on. And we're going to go over some of the complete and utter stupidity that is the MAGA party, the Republican Party. They're continuing to try to scare the American people with this communist nonsense. But I'm going to show you just how communist the Republicans are. Donald Trump is a complete and utter communist. I'm going to show you him talking about how he's been trying to acquire companies. You know what the difference is between communists and socialists? I'm going to tell you what the difference is, since you guys don't know. And maybe you'll pay attention and you'll understand. What the Communist Party does is they literally control every single thing. Everything. And I'm talking everything. And they consider everyone to be equal, unless you're at the very top, right? Which is pretty much the way it is in this country anyway, right? With the richest people on the planet getting all of the perks and all of the property, all of the assets, all of the money, and everybody else is just left to shit and die. But that's the way it is with pure capitalism. Capitalism does not work. We're seeing it happen in front of our very eyes. Now, capitalism can work with socialism. You see, that's the way that it should be done. And how would that work? That would work because capitalism, you're still allowed to own your own company. You're still allowed to do that in capitalism. It's fine. You can do that. And you can do it with socialism as well. Socialists don't ever say you're not allowed to own your own company. That's what communists do, right? You're not allowed to get rich in a communist country. You can become rich in a socialist country. We've seen it all around the world. I mean, we know what's going on. You guys are the DUMmies that don't know what's going on in real life, right? But when you mix the two together, what ends up happening is you end up having a taxes for the richest people on the planet. That's because they have more money than anybody, they get charged more taxes. And because of that, then you're able to do things like universal health care, which is part of what socialism would be. It's the government taking care of basically the infrastructure of the country. And what I mean by infrastructure, I'm talking about literally everything that makes the country run, including the people. So therefore, if you had let me put it to you this way. If you had a country where most of the people kept on getting sick and couldn't work, would you have a country that is very productive? No, you would not. Now, would you? No, it would not be very easy to be very productive if everybody kept on getting sick. Now, let's just pretend that you have a country that anytime anybody gets sick, every single time that happens, they get taken care of. They're able to get back to 100% and then go back to work and continue to be productive. Which one of the two do you think is the better way? Well, you see, we don't have that in this country, but in a socialist country, yes, you would have that. And guess what that person will be able to do? They'd be able to go ahead and get taken care of and then get back to being a productive member of society. The same thing that goes with the work week, the schooling in this country, all the things that basically make the country run is what socialism would promote and take care of. It's the government's job to make sure that the infrastructure, and I'm talking about now when I say infrastructure, the actual infrastructure. When I said it earlier, I meant the entire production of the country, the infrastructure of the country being everybody involved. But when you talk about the literal meaning of infrastructure, roads, bridges, traffic lights, things like this, those are also things that if they were not functioning properly, we would not have much production in the country now, would we? If we didn't have interstate highways in this country, we wouldn't have as much production as we have now, as opposed to what we had back in the day when the country first formed some 250 years ago, right? But now that we have those things, we have so much more production. The internet came along in the 1990s and things rapidly moved even quicker, making production even faster in this country. But when you don't have the infrastructure being taken care of and it's privatized and owned by people who are then not the owners of it start to sink, production goes down, and we end up having a failing society, which is exactly what it is that's going on in this country. So yes, we do need socialism. I will be here talking about socialism and educating people about what socialism is from now on, and it will continue to happen until we have it, and we most likely will have it once we get power back in this country in terms of the Democratic Party as opposed to the anti-American terroristic party called the Republican Party, who in fact is the actual communist-like party with their behaviors and their policies. It literally is what is going on in this country, a very fascist country that's happening in this country with Donald Trump and his policies and his actions, and the Republican Party's compliance in it all is going to be facing justice sometime down the road. But for now, what we're going to do is I'm going to continue to educate people as to what is going on here in reality with truth and fact. Well, let's just do it in order, with facts that then lead to truth, because MAGA doesn't know the difference between the two. They think that fact and truth are the same thing. They're that DUMB. That's exactly what I'm talking about. When it comes to these people, they are literally the DUMest people on the planet, but that's just, the way it has to be in this country. We will educate them. Most of them will come out of the fog and the web that they're in, but some of them won't. And that's some 25% of the country that I believe, no matter what Donald Trump does, they would still back him up. And there's even questions that have been asked. And I showed one in my on my live, I should say, last Sunday, when I went to a tweet where somebody asked, what if Donald Trump raped your 10-year-old daughter? Would you still support him? And the response from the MAGA man, with this complete and utter, you can't even make this up response, even invoking Jesus, he ended up saying, yes, he would. Now, that's the MAGA man for you. We're not like that, okay? We're not going to do that on this channel, but I will point it out, and because there's two things that I do on this channel, like I always like to mention, and make sure people are understanding what's going on in front of them right now. What is going on in front of you? You're going to talk. I'm going to talk to you guys about two different things. I'm going to do two separate things on the channel every single time. Number one thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about truth and facts, right? Or facts and truth, right? In order. Facts, number one enemy for MAGA. Truth, number two enemy. And then the second thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to make fun of MAGA, the complete and utter dingbats that they are. And I'm going to be pointing it out every time that you guys make the DUMS comments that you can possibly imagine. They will be featured on the channel, just like I continue to do every single day when I feature MAGA DUME of the day, which I have a 3-time winner. Nobody else has even been a 2-time winner. But I have one MAGA who is so utterly DUMB that he has actually been the first one to take it 2 times, and now even a 3rd time, an actual 3-time MAGA DUME of the day I have in my posts. And I do these types of things, educating people, letting people know what's going on so that they in fact know, and I can help people out. Now, let's get on with what we're doing here. This is Richard Dugans. He says, Trump SHIT show. That is exactly what's going on in this country, and we're here to put a stop to it. That's what we're doing, is we're ending MAGA. As you can see at the bottom of the screen, we are ending MAGA, and that's one of the things that I love more than anything. And I just saw it the other day in a response to me on Twitter, where somebody was like, you're not ending anything. You think that you're gonna end MAGA? No, you're not. Yeah, that's what they do. They get upset. You know what I mean? They get really mad at me when they see me. And then they tell me that I'm not ending anything. And when they do, it's like gold to me. I love it so much. And don't worry, we'll find somebody in the comments today that will say the same thing. And I'll put them on blast. And I'll be laughing my ass off at them. Because it is one of the funniest things in the world. And I just love their reactions to it.